Alright, now these are what are probably the coolest thing out of the bunch of stuff I got from the bank the last trip. As I always get like 8 small dollar rolls, and usually I get a bank roll, which you have Sacagaweas, Susan B. Anthony's. I chase the Susan B. Anthony's more than anything. Or the presidentials, but for some reason I got direct from the mint rolls of essentially uncirculated. See if the camera will do this. 2000 Phillies. So I got like 4 rolls of 2000 Philly uncirculated Sacagaweas that we can look for the Wounded Eagle on. And then I end up keeping a couple out of each roll. I've opened up one of these rolls already. Didn't find an eagle, Wounded Eagle, but saved like 4 high grade coins. So with any luck, we get a couple high graders out of this at the worst. And with all the luck in the world, we end up with a Wounded Eagle that is also a high grade, but that I'm not expecting. So the ends don't look really great. Maybe this isn't. These are all going to be pretty nice though. Yeah, I think these are all going to be what I think they are. Let's bring it in here. So essentially, I mean, this is an ender, but essentially, hopefully we have a whole roll of uncirculated Sacagaweas. The last roll had pretty good spotting once you got into the middle of the roll. So hopefully these are a little bit, yeah, look, I mean, there you can kind of see the spotting. So I picked out like 4 of the last roll that really didn't have any spotting. But we're really looking for that Wounded Eagle, which should stand out naked eye wise if we get it. I mean, there's a nice one there. I will end up saving a ton of these. We'll have to look at the tail feathers to make sure we ain't sitting on a Cheerio. But these are all going to be pretty nice, except I wish the spotting wouldn't, be there, but I get a couple where it's not. So, well, right there at that angle is pretty good angle for looking at the eagle. And like I said, I don't think these even need to really go under the scope to check that eagle. Though we'll throw them all under the scope just to check the tail feathers. Make sure we ain't got that detailed tail feather. But you should be able to see those 2 wounded marks in the eagle pretty darn easily without the scope, especially on this camera. Now, is it likely we find it? No. See, like this one, very little spotting on that one. I like that one. That one I probably end up keeping. More spotting on that one than I want. No eagle feathers there. So this one looks pretty good as far as spotting goes. I'll have to scope them to see if there's any that are actually like worth grading. If you can get a 2000 filly in a 68 plus, it's right around $375 right now. You get it in a 69 PCGS price guide's got them at 5100, which is crazy. Now I don't know if there's any of these that I'm gonna send, but you know, try to get the eagle there. I think I have 2 in my box of possible senders right now. Looks like I got about 10 coins left here. Here's a nice one. Not much spotting. But no wounded. Here's another nice one that got away from the spotting. I should have been separating them. Almost seems like this half of the roll got away from getting spotted. Oh, that one got a little spotted. But I thought it was pretty cool just to see, like, this one's got a little bit of, she's got a mark on her cheek and stuff, so that right there automatically sends it out of being sent in for grading. But like the fields on most of these and stuff should be really good. I don't see any spotting on that one too bad. I don't see a wounded eagle there. 3 more. I think from the looks of things, there's some field issue right in front of the eagle there, but this roll I think I'm going to save more out of than the last roll. There's spotting on that one. No wounded eagle. And the last one of the roll, spotting's not bad on that one. Not terrible. But no wounded eagle. I think I got 2 or 3 more of these rolls to eventually look through, so go over the scope here. There's the tail, so it'll be a quick check on the tail of each one just to make sure we're not sitting on a Cheerio, which I'm almost positive that we're not. Might as well just give them the quick check. It's only 25 coins, so we'll just do them all quick here and call it good. I don't know, maybe these would have been smarter just to keep. See, like this one here, this looks like a nice coin. Yeah, there's a field mark there. I end up thinking it's going to be a nice coin, and then there's a mark that knocks it down a notch for me. Now that we're looking at the tail, we'll be able to see that spear quick, at least in the area. Yeah, none of them on the initial look struck me as having that tail detail. But you never know what I overlook until I sit at my other desk and just give them the hard look, the more than 3 seconds. Yeah, a couple more here, and then I got a couple packages I'm going to open up, and then I'm going to call it a night. That might be a nice coin. Might be one with no spotting. A little bit of wear from the mint, but other than that, they're still pretty darn good. Spotter. Call them spotters. These definitely have not been circulated, other than the fact of coming out of the hopper at the mint or whatever travel they take to get into the mint issued roll. Let's see, I'm going to play with the camera here for a second, just to see if I can get... Yeah, that ain't bad for the screen, I guess. I got 4 more to look at. Alright. Nothing. And nothing. Nice looking. That one might be one of the nice looking ones, though. I think there's going to be 1 or 2 of these sent in for sure. I do believe. But we did not hit essentially what we were looking for.